Yo, what's up guys, I'm back on a review. For this time we have this 85 want to watch Gabriel Jesus. Now this is quite an old review for me, as you can see by the gameplay with him. I played 56 matches, I got 8 goals and 12 assists. Now this is purely because I played him out wide most of the time and I had like Neymar and the Kochas up front, which obviously I prioritised instead of him. So on stats sensor, you got the 5'9", got the high work, which is the right foot with the 4-star skills, 3-star weak foot. On stats sensor, he's got the 86 pace, the 84 shooting, the 77 passing, the 88 dribbling, and the 77 physical, sorry. So overall, looks like quite a good card. I decided to go the Hunt Chem style because it just boosts that pace and the shooting up quite nicely, but I'll speak more about that after on the positive and negative side of things. As you can see by his positions, he can play the centre forward, the striker, and also the right wing like I have been doing for him. Now this is a card that's actually upgraded quite a lot since he's playing for Brazil, and obviously it's the World Cup. He's already got the +2 because of the Arsenal 3 wins, but the World Cup will allow him to go a lot, and that's why his price is around 300k right now. But that's all for my intro. If you do enjoy the clips or want to see more, please do subscribe. It generally does help the channel a lot, and I'll see you after the positives and negatives. Peace. So, on to my overall thoughts about the card then. Now, Gabriel Jesus is a really weird card for me every year, because it's not a card that has standout stats every year, and I normally don't tend to use him, but since I got him untradeable, out of like a 75 to 83 pack, when he was obviously 83 rated, I thought I might as well give him a go. So, let's go through it then. So, the 4-star skills are the minimum necessity on a card worth 300k, to be honest. You do need it to be the twist into it, and obviously he's got quite nice agility to go with it, so that's quite nice. Unfortunately, the 3-star weaver is a little bit inconsistent at times. He would score quite a few on his weak foot, but then again he would miss quite a few, so as I said, it's quite inconsistent. And the pace for me, not bad to be fair. With the Hunt Chem style, we'll be able to burst through that acceleration. The pace split is quite nice, especially with that 89 acceleration. He will be able to get through on goal, but he will get caught quite easily. Now the shooting for me, overall, actually quite good, especially with the Travellas. I noticed the Travellas were quite good with this card, especially with that shot power as well. Goes hand in hand really, really nicely, especially on that strong foot. The weak foot, not so much, very, very inconsistent, and I would advise you stay away from it, especially with that composure. It will let you down a few times. Now the passing for me, very, very bad to be honest. The short pass even isn't that good to be honest. Like overall, the only thing that I really felt was not bad, because I played him wide a lot of the time, was a crossing, which is weird enough since it's 77. But overall passing, I would advise you stay away from it and mainly use him as a striker to like twist and turn with, and then get the shot off and stuff like that. Well, and this leads me on quite nice to my next point. The drilling for me actually is one of his best attributes. Since he's 5'9", then 93 agility with the 4-star skills go really nicely together, along with the balance as well. They do all really nice stats, and it allows him to twist and turn and get into the shot off and stuff like that. Now the bulk shot for me feels a little bit high in this, to be honest. Bulk shot actually feels quite good, and as I always say, the bulk shot with smaller players is generally going to be quite decent. The composure for me, very lackluster. Would miss quite a few chances, and this is why he only got the 8 goals for me, like 56 games, because he did have quite a few more chances, and you've seen by some of the clips, he did miss quite a few, which is a little bit unfortunate, but there we go. Now, the head and jumping isn't actually that bad on this card. He would win a few headers for me, but not really goal scoring chances, just like if he gets hung up in the air, and he would always be there onto it, which is not bad to be fair. Now, this is one of his better attributes for this card. I say the stamina is actually quite good on this card. 85 depending on where you're going to play him. I'd recommend you play him striker or wide, not cam, to be honest. The passing is just really woeful. But overall, the 85 stamina is actually not bad. Now, the strength and aggression, again, not too bad about this card. 72 strength on a 5'9" guy with that 78 aggression. He's not going to be the strongest of cards, but he will be able to duel some wing backs and stuff like that. So if you do want to play him wide, he can do that. But he's a little bit slow for that. So it's a little bit of a weird one, because obviously the centre backs will be stronger than him, but the wing backs won't be. But the wing backs will be faster than him, but the centre backs won't be. So it's a little bit of a toss up where you're going to play him. But those are my overall thoughts. Now let's get to overall scores. But on to my overall scores of this card then. Now, we off straight away with the pace. Now, overall for the pace, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. He's not electrically fast, don't get me wrong, and you will need to boost him with the Hunter Chem style. I just don't think I get any higher than that, since then you got like cards like Vinny and that are so much faster in this card in game. So, generally speaking, 7.5 out of 10. It's a little bit harsh, but I think overall it's fair. Now, the shooting for me, this is very hard because the weak foot is very inconsistent, but the strong foot is not bad. Even with the composure, it still isn't bad with the Trivellas and stuff like that. So overall for the shooting, I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. I don't think I can give it any higher than that, purely because the rest of the shooting attributes in the bottom 3, like light green ones, aren't really the best, and also the weak foot as well. So overall for that, 8 out of 10. Now the passing for me, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Generally speaking, very woeful. He's not really the type to be passing a lot. This is why you're going to struggle playing him cam or wide, to be honest, because you need to make those like close passing. Unless you have direct passing on, he's going to struggle a little bit. Now, the dribbling for me is one of his better attributes. Overall for the dribbling, I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10. If you had the 5-star skills, it would be more like a 9, and high composure would be more like a 9.5. But overall for that, he can twist and turn very nicely, especially with the height, so it's generally not too bad. Now, the physicals for me, overall, generally speaking, quite decent. He's not really got any, like, standout negatives, although the strength isn't really the best. Overall for that, I'm giving it 8 out of 10. I do feel like he'll be a little bit better, but the stamina is the main factor in that, and 8 out of 10 I think is a fair score. So, on overall score then, I'm going to give him a 7.9 out of 10. I feel like with a few upgrades, this card might be usable, but at this stage of the game, even now, he's just going to get outdated. And there's a lot of cards I prefer using even now, and especially as he's 300k odd, I feel like for a card the same value, like Inform Usman, or even a Vinicius Jr., which is around half the value, I just feel like he's not really worth the coins, and this is where you get on value for coins. So unless he gets upgrades on the World Cup, which makes him a really usable card, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Purely because I just don't really think he's going to be that meta, and I always don't. Even his gold cards at the start of the game, I just feel like there was even better cards even in the Prem. Like Rashford, I feel like would have been better, purely because of that pace and because of the 5-star skills and stuff like that. It just doesn't feel like a card that can get to grips with and use it for a long time, like a longevity kind of card. It's just not one of them in my personal opinion. But that's all for my review. As always, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do subscribe. It genuinely does help the channel out a lot. But I've got nothing more to say. See you in the next video, and peace out, guys.